Hey, we're live. How is everybody doing today? We're down on camera today. Sometimes we do put the other camera on. So just get a coat. And before we get started here, before we get into the Halloween shows, and welcome to Hunter's Cabin. We find a lot of weird stuff around Hunter's Cabin here. Um, Basically, when we were cleaning up at the park for the carnival on Tuesday, we find a lot of stuff, which almost went to the garbage. A few things, I think. Cody, I think you left your books at the park, and I guess they're, I don't know, religious books, but of some kind. But so anyhow, we picked them up. I've got them here, so if you want to come pick them up, at that house here. And just to double remind you, with the Rotary Village Fair, um, when people go to the fair and that kind of stuff, a lot of people do lose a lot of stuff. I guarantee there's no lost and found system. So when we're cleaning up and that kind of stuff too, uh, most times we try to save some stuff for people that they might have lost, like Cody lost his books. Um, but Cody Bell lost his books, I guess, left behind him for some reason. Um, but again, what happens is a lot of stuff that gets left behind on the fairgrounds when we're cleaning up gets thrown. Mainly, will get thrown in the garbage. So, um, so Cody, I've got your books here. You can buy and pick them up. Cody Bell, you can come pick your books up or whatever. Um, just that I let you know that we got them here for you, so you might be of value to you. So anyhow, um, or normally we just chuck them. Like I said, there was a good sweater I didn't want to chuck in the garbage, or gloves. A set of gloves I didn't want to chuck in the garbage too. That kind of thing that was found, or it would have just went to the garbage. So I guess I just brought it home, and it's sitting here. They're sitting here too. Um, so again, like I said, people, anything that gets lost in the fairgrounds when we clean up at the end of the fair weekend, 9/10 of that stuff almost goes to the garbage. So um, that's what I said. So I didn't want to see a good sweater and that kind of stuff and gloves go to the garbage. So I just picked it up and brought it home. So. Um, and that. So, or most times I can't save anything because a lot of stuff usually just has to go to the trash. So if some stuff is found, it just goes to the trash because, like I said, we do not have a lost and found system. Um, but yeah, so um, those are just the small, minute things that I found on the fairground. Is a Monster drink sweater and a pair of nice red gloves. Um, which almost went to the garbage. So I saved those from going to the garbage because they were good. They were very good gloves. I didn't want to see them go to the garbage. Or I didn't want to see the sweater go to the garbage. So I just brought them home temporarily in case somebody in Wyerton here did lose them and they want to come pick them up, or I'm just gonna keep them for myself. um, and that kind of stuff. So, like I said, but like I said, normally, like a lot of things get people lose a lot of stuff, and that kind of, like I said, there's no lost and found system with us at the fair, and that. Hello, how you doing? And so anyhow, just getting ready for the big haunted house. So I just wanted to throw in an update on that before I get going with my haunted house and that kind of stuff. Um, you can tell in the background, all my dummies are starting to come out. Um, so again, like I said, there's They're starting to be built up. I got one scary dude in the corner. I got this guy behind me popping up. Working on the front living room, which is actually going to be is actually one of the haunted cabin rooms, and my room where I sleep is going to be the haunted cabin. One of the other haunted cabin rooms too, and so the bed's going to be all stalled up and spooky again. So again, my Ghostbuster dummy is in the process of being made up. So again, I've got a few other dummies as well being made up. So again, bit by bit over the weekend or during the week, when I get time, I'm slowly starting to build them up. Like I said, I kind of do things early because on how busy I get all through the summer and stuff like that. Excuse me, and I like to stay ahead of schedule. I don't like to wait till the last minute and rushing to get everything done the last minute. So that way, it is just a lot easier to actually open the live stream haunted house for the live stream at the end of October. So that way, all the big preparation is done. So again, I do bit by bit here and there. So again, like I said, I think the big ironing board with the big dummy on the ironing board is going to go in the other, probably in the cabin sleep in the other cabin room, one of the other two cabin rooms. This here is going to be the haunted living room. We are going to bring back the haunted fireplace for you again, because a lot of people love seeing that. So again, that is actually going to be up and running as well. And so again, also during the Halloween season, Halloween month is going to be a big horror movie thing. And that so again, like I said, on October 6th is going to be my big what we call 38th birthday. We're going to call it birthday social. Basically, that's what we're going to call it because I'm too old to have parties. So it will be like a party, but it'll be a one-man type party. Might bring in some supplies or have a bit of a social. Probably do a bit of a lip sync for you again, like we did before. But again, we get pre-record on YouTube for that. So again, we have to actually pre-record and upload to YouTube. So we have to do it in a different way. Then share over to Facebook. So and then also too, and then October is our Canadian Thanksgiving. There is that, and then the end of the month, the end of October is going to be the is Devil's Night. So again, it'll be haunted house. Now the weather, I understand it is Wyerton here, and the weather is not always nice on Halloween night because it's always doing, like I said, it's always doing something stupid out. It's either raining, snowing. It's always doing something, or it's always doing something. Weather's doing something stupid. It's the funny time of year because you're getting close to the winter. So again, because you're closer to November. So that's kind of be quite good. If the weather is nice, we are going to live stream. We're going to take you for a live stream walk through the neighborhoods and that kind of stuff, so we can see all the nice lit up houses and see all the other haunted houses going on. I do have a Halloween treat. I am actually buying and ordering for you guys. It is a Halloween costume prop from a horror movie, but I'm not going to tell you what horror movie that is. That is a surprise. So again, I'm gonna make preparations to get that in before Halloween for you. So that way we could have some cool shows to throw in for the haunted house here, and so again, this is last October that we're gonna do Hunter's Cabin. Next year, It is strictly just going to be a straight haunted house. It's just going to be just a big straight. It's going to be a regular haunted house. So again, like we said, we were going to finish up Haunted Hunter's Cabin this year, Cabin 13. So we kind of took a bit of a break because of the Rotary Fair coming up. Because we had Canada Day. We started a bit before Canada Day. Then we took that long stretch break. So again, then we had the Rotary Village Fair clips. So again, we went live at the fair. So we kind of mingled those in a bit. So again, that was our break. I was going to get the baseball game for you guys, but I do apologize. I did not get a close up of the baseball game because my battery was dead. So again, like I said, I even had to charge up my Wi-Fi battery pack too because I used that one on my Wi-Fi battery modem pack when we were live at the fair, and so to operate my Wi-Fi and my data. So that's how I was able to take you guys live. Then the last night of the fair, I wanted to get a good night clip for you guys. The last night of the fair, the actual look-see of the fair when it was closed, it didn't work out because the carnies had already crisscrossed the wires back. Because what they did, the carnies, they have this thing where they when they hook their equipment up, they will actually cross the hydro wires in the main hydro box, and then the Rotarian's going to go in and actually we cross it back over. A lot of midway guys, they do foolish stuff like that. So again, like I said, that's so that night when they were taken down, that's why I couldn't pick up a good signal to take you live. I totally experienced what you call a dead internet signal. I couldn't pick anything up because normally I could walk through that park on an everyday basis, even when there's no events going on through that park, and I can actually pick up internet, no problem. But usually when the fair comes into town or whatever, and they're ready to pull out, they're just ripping everything out of the ground, not watching where stuff is connected to. They kill certain energy circuits, and they pull out, they rip out part of it, part of a main town grid. So that's what I said. So again, that's because those guys are always in a hurry to pack up and go, and that kind of stuff. So at the pie booth at any point in time did lose their hydro. It wasn't the Rotarians. It was probably the midway operators because they were the last night of the fair. They were just in such a hurry to pack up. They just ripping their equipment out of the ground, everything. And they probably accidentally pulled a brake or shot a breaker because the main panel breaker's on a timer. So they could have ripped something, a wire or something, and a little minor thing, and that way the actual magical midway carnies was on a hurry to go. So they were ripping stuff. They probably didn't realize they short fused something. They do every year. It's normal with them. But I look at it, it's kind of. I try not to laugh, but it is kind of funny, because those guys do a lot of idiotic things. Just like Tuesday, one of them had actually two of them actually fell off the carny truck and broke their leg, and one broke his leg and neck. One broke his leg, fractured his neck and broke his arm. The other one just broke his leg, so they had two ambulances in the park. It kind of shocked me on the Tuesday during teardown. So that that's what I said. It is, no matter if you're paid Midway Kearney or if you're a volunteer with Rotary and that kind of thing, you do have to be careful because the morphines are heavy. The you're always taking a chance of injuring yourself. Nobody's ever at fault. It is just one of those things that just happens. Like I said, you volunteer and set them up. You do have to realize that you are going to take a chance of getting injured or hurt. It is normal. It's part of the volunteer job description, because sometimes those frames are heavy. They will accidentally slip out of your hand, especially if you only got two guys and you don't always have enough guys to help you. No matter what, they got to come down or go up. So again, it's a big challenge. It is a big challenge to put a carnival together. It is not easy job. A lot of places now require that you, if you can, is if you're going to go into like a big volunteer job, or you're going to go into a big carnival, working in a big carnival industry, is always make sure it's good paying medical insurance, so that way yourself you're covered for life and medical. So because those jobs are heavy jobs, and they're very complicated, and there's a 100% 50-50 chance that gravity is always going to win. You're going to get injured or something, or you're going to trip over something. Like, I know a couple of times it's funny. I like when I'm taken down or I'm setting up. There's a couple of times I've actually fell over a ladder, not watching what I was doing, because I'm too focusing on getting the thing up and down, right? So in a time frame. So, like I said, you really have to watch. You really have to. It's one of those volunteer jobs or community jobs. You have to always be careful with, because no matter what, you are going to actually injure yourself. You can't say you're never going to injure yourself, because there's a high 50 chance you can injure yourself. Some people are just lucky enough they haven't, but 9 out of 50 people have actually injured themselves. So again, like it's not one of those know-it-all Superman type jobs, because like a carpenter always used to tell me, gravity's always going to win, no matter what. You can't beat gravity. It's always there. It's always around you. It's just as bad as negativity. I don't know which is worse, gravity or negativity. I think the gravity want to be the worst. But yeah, that was a joke, by the way. But yeah, so again, those are a little bit of a little updates and safety cautions for you in those kind of jobs. And they are fun jobs. Somebody's got to do them. If they don't do themselves, it's not like it's not a Walt Disney thing like Mary Poppins showing up with a handbag, and then you twitch your nose or twitch your fingers and poof, you're pulling everything out of a handbag and setting it up and putting it back in the handbag. No, that life don't work that way. I wish it did. It doesn't. Or the magical Merlin from Sword in the Stone type pack up and go type thing. No, it does. Reality doesn't work that way. I wish it did. Make my job a lot easier. So there's a bit of sense of humor from Hunter's Cabin there for you. So again, like I said, we are live in Byerton, Ontario. And so anyhow, like I said, my Halloween show, my Joker's on Duty Halloween, Hunter's Cabin Joker's on Duty shows 13 is coming together to finish up, and for this October. So like I said, we do a lot of things early because I get so busy. I'm in and out all the time. It's so again I take time and preparation to put things together and make sure everything goes together correctly, and make sure everybody gets their own spots and no complaining right over there. He's a little, I think he's a little deaf over there too. And also, too, there be no moving spots. You guys are assigned to your spots. That's where you stay. Uh, I don't want to see you guys move out to the living room, into the cabin rooms, because this is a haunted living room. Because these guys like to complain too much. So anyhow, and so anyhow, I wanted to do a bit of a sense of humor and that kind of stuff too for you. So again, the haunted fireplace is going to be back for Hunter's Cabin, and that again that'll go through the month of October, so we can finish up the Halloween shows, and then Hunter's Cabin will be done for this year. We'll finish up the Hunter's Cabin shows. Next year will be just a regular haunted house. This year was this was the big finish up year for Hunter's Cabin, 13. So we wanted to make it totally. We just wanted to get it all. Do a sequel, and so this is the final sequel to Hunter's Cabin. The Wall of Skulls is too complicated to fit in, and that. So again, I'd have to buy all the Bristol board and put it together. Small little thing, portable thing, but I wouldn't have the room in here for it. Probably if over time if I do that, I will probably buy one of those little bulletin boards from the dollar store or whatever, one of those fair size bulletin boards, and put photo on that, whatever, put the skull on there, color them up. I may have time to do that too for this year too, or squeeze that in here. That is going to. If I put my mind to it, I'll be able to do it this year. Yeah, I will. I'll put that on my to-do list. Make sure I'll put that actually on my to-do list for this year, so that way we get it in on time. And so anyhow, just sit back, drinking my coconut. So we just wanted to get ahead of schedule. We wanted to get everything on the ball and rolling, and then on time, getting the dummies in their spots, getting them set up where they need to be set up, and get the cabin all together. And I just gotta again. I'm actually working on getting the table area all cleaned up behind me here. And so that way you get that organized, and so it's nice and clean. There's going bit by bit. Before Halloween, I am actually going to buy some more Halloween decorations. So we're going to run banners across the top, that kind of stuff. The lights are already up. One string for some reason doesn't seem to want to work, but it may eventually surprise me. It may work. As far as the skull lights go, I've got to get a new set. Those didn't last even 3 years. They're broken already because the cat got at them. Ripped the heads off them. Trey, you end up ripping the heads off the skull lights when it's not new. It's Hunter's Cabin. Heads come off around here all the time. So, like I said, it's so I'm working on getting a new set of those. Buying a new set of those when they start selling them at the dollar store. Carnival weekend, Civic weekend, I have to say was pretty good, better than most years. Big disappointment, they didn't bring the big Ferris wheel this year. I don't know what's fair with the Ferris wheel. They didn't bring the bumper cars. A lot more kiddie rides this year than anything. They didn't have too many for the adult rides. They had like Tilt-A-Whirl, and they had Scrambler, that kind of stuff. Just kind of the odds in that. Two, or maybe the odd two. They've downsized big time. Then they brought the Avengers Zone, which was Kids Fun House trailer. Too bad they didn't bring the Indiana Jones one. Some year they got it. They gotta bring the Indiana Jones one. I seen that on Facebook. I thought it was really cool. Raiders of the Lost Ark walk through Funhouse. Magical Midway has one of those too, and they got to bring that one some year. Yeah, so like I said, that's. But I get too busy working the summer fair, and I don't even get time to ride the rides. Because I'm always busy working, because I help run the birthday booth and that kind of thing. First year out of all the hottest summer ever, they did not have a dunk tank. I guess they did not have enough volunteers to run the dunk tank, and to sit on the dunk tank. So there's no dunk tank this year. No Ferris wheel. Definitely with the Midway carnies, there was no Ferris wheel. They did bring the regular little kids rides, the slides, but they had some type of basketball throw and some little blow up ice cream trailer they were selling ice cream out of on their ticket booth. So again, like I said, that's so I guess for actual art club, anyways, for Friends of Rotary and that, for those that are interested, and the International Club, there's a big golf tournament coming up this week. This week on the 16th, and I think it's something. He said $22 for supper and $50 for the day to go golfing or whatever, something like that. That's always a big turnout. Some canoeathon marathon was going on today. I don't know who was running that. I don't think it was our group. But somebody was running it. It looked pretty good. I think it was the Shore to Shore. Yeah, maybe it was our group, because it might have been the Shore to Shore canoeathon. Because during the Civic Holiday Weekend Fair, we have the Shore to Shore run marathon that starts out of the Yoke Farm here and then actually runs right into Wyerton here, so they block the streets off. And that, so it's a big running marathon thing. So that's probably had something to finishing up from that. So again, that there is that was quite interesting of a weekend, and also too at the summer fair weekend, which is the August Civic Holiday weekend, I do the groundskeeping at night while the fair is operating and that kind of thing is open. After the fair is closed, for the next day, I change the garbage cans, I change the garbage bags, and clean up the fairgrounds. And the last night of the fair is always fun, because all the bags come out of the cans and they go at the back of the bingo tent. And then we had the big tear down the next day. The tear down was a fun day. Took us a little bit longer, just because we didn't have a lot of people. We had a good crowd, but we didn't have a lot of people, and that kind of stuff. So we managed, and we got everything all down, and that kind of stuff. Everything stored into the shed, and everything else like that for next year. And so that was a wonderful day. I enjoyed helping out with that. I always do every year. This was my 4th year helping out. My 2nd year of being part of Friends of Rotary. I joined Friends of Rotary last year after the fair. So, and I was initiated in and everything else like that to the Friends of Rotary and that kind of thing. So I paid up my membership this year. So this is my 2nd year, going on my 2nd year for Friends of Rotary. Again, we're only allowed to go to 10 meetings a year and yearly within the year. So we kind of have to stretch them out, which ones we really want to go to the international meetings, and then between the socials. So again, I'm doing so as I do my job at the dentist office every week. So every 2 weeks when I get paid from the dentist office, I have to save for to get me through the year to stretch, so I can choose which meetings I want to go to, which international meetings, which socials I want to go to, so that way I can make it to the meetings and that kind of thing. So I could make my 10 meetings. Last year I didn't make my 10 meetings. I made it only up within the whole year. I only made it up to 6 meetings of last year. So again, I didn't quite make my 10. just Friends of Rotary. We are Rotarians, but we are non-voting Rotarians. The actual big international group is all voting. The actual when it comes down to Friends of Rotary are Rotarians, but they are non-voting. I can't vote on anything. We can give suggestions, but we can't vote. It's one of those. It is one of those non-voting memberships. So because it's a cheaper membership and it's a cheaper Rotary club. So, and that kind of stuff too. And yeah, okay, I'll respond to that one in a minute. And that kind of stuff. So, just thought I'd keep you updated on everything, and that kind of stuff before we get into our big spooky haunted house. Again, which is all the proceeds are starting early. Like I said, getting all set up. All is starting to go Facebook Live. Is starting to come together a bit earlier, and so like we're always doing something because I get so busy. I'm in and out all the time. I never know where I'm going to be from day to day. So like I said, so I take the summertime to actually start putting things together, get everything out, get all the dum-dums behind me set up in their places and that kind of thing, and get them in their spots. Considering they don't move, last year, because they were in a tiny room and they all complained. But like I said, that's dummies for you. They're always complaining. They're never happy, and that kind of thing. But the good thing is, you see, they're quiet, and all they do is stare at you. That's the only thing I love about these things, because they can't really talk unless you make them talk, like puppets. I do have the vacuum cleaners out, and they're going to be all dressed up. Just got to find their little corners and get them all dolled up, and then they're going to go into their little tiny corner, and then I'm going to work my way out to the actual cabin rooms, 1 and 2. Those cabin rooms are not going to have lights. Again, they'll be the darkest part of the cabin. This is the living room. Here's the haunted living room. So again, it is slowly going to be all dolled up here in a minute. So again, I just got to figure out where things. It's just a small area in my office area here, where everything's going to go. Again, the Hunter's Cabin sofa, haunted Hunter's Cabin sofa is all nicely dolled up as well. A new addition to Hunter's Cabin this year, so you can see, is my haunted Hunter's Cabin easy chair. More comfortable than the big stupid wheelie plastic chair I was sitting in. Not more comfortable too. Again, my chair, like I said, I bought it to go to the village fair to sit in. Had a couple times to sit in it, but then I was up and down all the time because of the game. Everybody playing it. When we get the big crowds, we only had it was a record because we only had like a 2 second or 3 second dead downtime. Usually it's like 5 hours long. And enough time for you to fall asleep, and then you get all the big crowds. You start you get comfortable, you get dozing off in the game tents. Because nobody's coming in all, and poof, everybody's flying out of the sky to play the game. You big crowds of customers, and rolling dice and that, putting their coins on their favorite day, favorite month, favorite holiday, favorite month that the birthday falls on or whatever, and roll the big blue dice, and if their date or month or holiday comes up, they win a prize. Anything in the birthday booth of toys or stuffies. again, I won my wife a couple stuffies. And that because I played. What I do when the strategy of the game. Again, there's different a different number of tokens for different prices. Either your highest bid for tokens, if you're buying tokens to win, especially on the birthday game, is you can go $10, 15 coins, and you can fill half the board. Or if you go and buy $20 worth of tokens, which gets you 16 tokens, that will fill the whole entire board. And if you fill the whole entire board, it's a guaranteed win. Because no matter what, when you roll the dice, your month that you picked is going to come up. So again, when you roll the dice, the month that month is automatic because the whole board is covered. That month is automatically covered with those 16 coins. That if that month comes up, automatically you're gonna win. Your month is gonna come up on the dice, and you're gonna win. You're gonna win one of the big stuffies. There's a trick to it. A lot of people are scared to do to pay the $20 and take the chance of laying down all their 16 coins because they think, they're not gonna win. But again, once it fills the whole board, all those coins fill the board. All those 16 coins fills that whole entire birthday board. Automatically, when you roll the dice, your month that you laid the coin on, one of those months are going to come up because that whole entire board is full. So again, automatically, you're automatically guaranteed to win. It's a guaranteed win. A lot of people don't see that. But that, if you really want to win bad enough, that is your strategy to that game. To particularly that game is to fill the whole entire board with your tokens. When you buy your tokens, you buy $20 worth and you lay 16 tokens down, and you get 16 tokens for $20, and that covers the whole entire board. No matter what, you're gonna win. Your month is gonna roll up on the dice. That is a big guarantee. A lot of people don't know that trick yet. They're slowly learning. The next few years, you'll see a lot of people going are actually playing that way, and that kind of thing. So it actually cleans the for the whole that entire weekend. So Bob has to do a whole brand new order the following year. So it cleans the booth right out. But yeah. So that's a little strategy on the birthday game alone on how you can win the birthday game. There's a little tip there for you. But that's what I do when I play I work it, but we're allowed to play by the tokens and support our own group and that kind of stuff. Most groups don't let you do that. Our group does. So again, that's what I do is I buy the 16 tokens. I buy 20. I go up for $20 worth of tokens, which is 16 tokens. I lay them down on the board. I fill the board, roll the dice, and poof, automatically one of those months are going to come up on that's on a full board is going to come up on the dice. Poof, you win. Down comes the stuffies. Down comes the stuffy or big stuffy or whatever. My cat really loves them and that kind of thing. So again, I won my wife a bear. I won my wife a unicorn. So she's happy. She's content. Last year I won her a pug, a bulldog, some brown black thing. So that's what I said. The different strategies on that one alone. So again, there is a little bit of update with that. That fair will not be back until next August, which is August of 2019. The shelter box guy with the shelter box display. Apparently, we only see him every 2 years. So in August 2019, he is not going to be with us. He's going to be out in the Arctic, which is out near Alaska. So he's going over that way, and so we won't see him until August 2020. So again, we mix it back this way. So again, the shelter box, we only get him every 2 years. So they'll have to fill something else in there next year. Um, Other than the ponies, because I'm sorry, the ponies are cute, but they stink. Especially if they put them right next to the birthday game. Like, I mean, the cute, I love horses, I love ponies, but they stink. Um, you know, like the birthday game doesn't need to smell that. Like, I mean, that is, I mean, we're here we're trying to run the birthday game, and everyone's because of the smell. You know, hanging their heads over the back of the birthday game and out the side because the stench of the pony poop stinks so bad it can't breathe, especially in the hot sun. Something like that, yeah. Out the back of the birthday game. Just thinking about it, man. Just thinking about that. I get out that topic. Excuse me. But yeah. Man, it's hot in here. 100 degrees outside there and 100 degrees in my house. Like I said, it is Hunter's cabin, so anything's possible. So excuse me. Coke's going down the wrong way too. Excuse me, clear my throat. But so next year, I will be helping out with. I will be signing up definitely for everything that Rotary, all the events Rotary's doing next year to help out. Next year, starting in the spring, I'm going to sign up for helping out with Maple Magic. I'm going to sign up for helping with Mason Race on June 9th. And back to the Rotary Village, Wyerton Village Fair in August. I do that. That'll be my 5th year there. And so anyhow, this September, to end off this year, there is, which is a farmer's market fair, which is a fall fair that's coming up in September, with pumpkins, hay, horse rides, wagon rides, and that kind of thing. So it's more of a farmer's market fair that's coming up. No midway. It is not a booked. It is the farmers market fall fair. It is not a midway fair. It is more what you call farm tools display, that kind of thing, like farm show, with just the animals, horses, cattle, auctioning off. Farmers will auction off beef cattle and that kind of stuff to butcher them down to beef or whatever that they do to sell off that kind of stuff. So again, it's one of those kind of fall fair things that is just strictly all fall stuff, farm tools, and then you'll see your average everyday can of Coke. What farmers really do with it? Farmers do not drink. Well, the farmers in this area anyway. I don't know what they do in the other areas. People stop digging me. I'm on live. You're driving me bonkers. Anyhow, the farmers in this area, in the Wyerton area, do not drink Coca-Cola. They actually buy the case of Coca-Cola from the grocery store, and they do refrigerate it cold, whatever, like we do, but they don't drink it. They wash their farm tools with it. They wash the rust off their farm tools with it, and so they don't buy it to drink it. If anything they're going to drink, farmers will just drink the Pepsi or whatever like that. Around here, like they'll drink root beer, Pepsi, or water, or spring water, or something lighter like that. Coke, you will not ever see them drink it. They actually buy it just to sterilize and wash the rust off their tractors and their farm tools and their farm blades. off their axes and that kind of stuff. And so that's all that's why Coca-Cola has got a very high market in selling, because not everybody that's buying it is drinking it. They're actually buying it to wash their jewelry with, to soak the jewelry in, to everything, to washing their dishes with, like their utensils, like utensils, their butter knives or steak knives with, or whatever, to get the rust off them. Their hunting knives or whatever they use them for. And the military uses the Coca-Cola to wash their cap badges with, to shine up the cap badges. I know we did that when we were cadets. We used to go to the pop machine, and that's so instead of waste, we could not at that time. We went the cheaper. We ran out of Brasso or Silverol to shine our cap badges with. We go to the Coca-Cola machine on the base, no matter if it's Trenton or Borden, and we get a can of Coke out of the vending machine, and we take it back to our barrack, and we put it in a bowl, and we take our cap badges off our berets, and we soak our cap badges in the Coca-Cola, and and you just be how sparkly shining our cap badges were. They used to literally blind the sergeant, our drill sergeant, to the point he had to wear sunshades because that's how shiny our cap badges were. Cap badges were. You couldn't believe it. And plus, not only that, we used to polish our boots with them too. We used to use Coca-Cola to polish our boots with too. A lot of those little scouting tricks, field tricks we used to do in the bushes and that kind of thing. So Coca-Cola was our survival thing. It wasn't a drinking thing. It was more of a what you call sterilization, and keeping stuff shiny. For uniform parts of cap badges or whatever, buttons on our dress uniforms or whatever kind of shiny. Anything that had to be shined up, Coca-Cola was the way to do it. Because it was one of the strongest. It was one of the strongest soda pops on the market. I don't think you see a lot of that today. You might still. I don't know. But that stuff was really. I remember those cadet days. I was a teenager then, but I was about. I guess I was about 13. And also, too, I was in the cadets about 17. I'm about 37 now. October, I'm hitting 38. Not proud of it. Getting to be old. I'm getting to be an old man. Almost still young, but almost middle-aged. Guess there was, what was it? There was a game on Facebook, one of those game quizzes on Facebook, ask you how old you were going to be in, what was it, 2020? And I've already calculated that because I'm 37 now, going to 38. So 2019, I'll be hitting, in October 2019, I'll be hitting 39. So about 2020, I'd be looking at being 40 years old when it hits around October time. So like I said, it is not that far off. So right now I'm only going on 2 years younger than 40. So so I'm 2 years off. But slowly catching up the ladder. But yeah, so again, like I said, that's what are those updates on that one? And yeah, I'm drinking Coca-Cola right now, but just after sharing that the farmers don't drink it. I don't think if I was a farmer, I live in a country town, yes, but I'm not a farmer. I was not raised on a farm. I was actually born in the city. I was born in a small town, but I grew up and was raised in the city. So I'm a bit of a city slicker, so I drink Coca-Cola. I drink the stuff. a lot of small town farmers don't drink it. They just clean their farm tools with it. Um, but yeah, so there's there's a little update with that. Just wanted to get you updated on what's going on for October here on Jokers on Duty and that kind of stuff, and some of the smaller events now that's left coming up. Next summer, starting in spring. Next summer is all the Rotary big events will be happening again, and it'll be up and running again. So again, the summertime they'll have a lot going, and that kind of come summertime, because we're almost getting close to the winter again, guys. Pretty soon the white stuff is going to be falling out of the sky again. Not too proud of it. Not looking forward to it either. I am not shoveling no snow this year for nobody. I did enough of that last year. I was out too much in the cold, freezing cold. That kind of thing. Never had no time at home to relax whatsoever. Always on the go 24/7. I'm on the go 24/7 too much during the summer. Winter time is my time to relax, and that kind of stuff. So I do enough running around in the summer because it's nicer weather. But the snow weather, I hibernate indoors. I don't go nowhere unless it's the end of the month and I have to go out. Other than that, or if I have to walk up to the dentist office to go to work, that is different. I make an exception. Other than that, or I have to go check the mail. Other than that, I am indoors the rest of the time. I don't shovel no snow. I'm on the PS3 going playing video games and watching movies. Too cold out there for me in the winter. You freeze in this weather. Way Wyerton is, the way the weather changes, and all the big snow blizzards and snowstorms we have here. I tell you, it is. I like to stay in where it's nice and warm. I don't even know. My electric fireplace is not even working this year. It's burnt out. I'm going to freeze. I'm gonna be an icicle. Well, I gotta. In some of the two rooms, I'm actually gonna have to get the electrical heat going eventually. Because all through last year, the electric heaters in here was shit. They were not working. Oops, that's $2 in the loony box. That's $2 in the toonie box in the square box. That's okay. But I mean, anything when I'm not going to freeze this year, and that kind of thing. Man, I tell you, it's just these apartments. I tell you, older historical, you can freeze like crazy. I don't even know how these drunks can walk home from karaoke and all the big snow blizzards and that kind of stuff. It's funny watching them walk down the street, all heading home, and it's just so comical. But yeah, so I just wanted to do a bit of quick update on that. Too, I'm sitting back watching the second season of Sleepy Hollow. Not bad. That kind of stuff. There's a lot of. It's based on a lot of true events apparently that really happened. If you've ever read the book, one of Washington Irving's books of it. It is quite interesting. I was always shocked because Hunter's Cabin, when I was a kid, when I was at summer camp, I was a little kid, was told to me as a kid camper and that kind of stuff for the first time in 1989, 1990. But it was one of those campfire ghost legends or massacre legends. It never was like Sleepy Hollow. It never ever made the big time. Never made the books. Nobody ever made it up to the movie industry or whatever with it. Like Sleepy Hollow did. Sleepy Hollow went a longer way than Hunter's Cabin ever did. But the funny thing is, Hunter's Cabin happened decades before Sleepy Hollow did. 2 or 4 years before. That's why like I said. So I mean, it was it is it is Hunter's Cabin was so hush hush for hundreds of decades. Um, Now, if you look at Hunter's Cabin, the original tale of Hunter's Cabin, or whatever the original events of Hunter's Cabin, Sleepy Hollow is more of an American, what you call ghost, historical, haunting, paranormal events that really happened. And apparitions that really happen. Hunter's Cabin is Canadian, which happened in Canada here, which happened a little bit, there's a little bit along the same line as Sleepy Hollow, but different. Because Sleepy Hollow, if you look at the difference between Hunter's Cabin and Sleepy Hollow, Washington Irving story is Sleepy Hollow. A lot of people think they're the same. No, they're not the same. Some things do look like the same or talks about the same, but it is not all the same. It is all different. So if I take you back to the outline, I'm going to kind of go into the big story because I went into a little bit of it, or my side of the nightmare of it. Now I'm going to go on to the on how it was how Hunter's Cabin was told to us campers. Father Bill Maloney's side of Hunter's Cabin, when he introduced the Hunter's Cabin to us. The cabin is a real cabin in Bobcaygeon, Haliburton, Ontario, Canada, that sits on the Camp Northern Lights grounds, which is still part of the campgrounds, but it's off the campgrounds. It doesn't, like I said, it's one of those things. It's weird. It is a real historical 100-year-old cabin. It's been there. It's been built by two Aboriginals, twin Aboriginals. Now stop dinging. I'm talking about my cell phone. Twin native brothers that left the city and they went into the woods and went deep into the woods. This was before the place even became a campground for kids. This would be hundreds of decades of years ago. And like I said, back those days, names were legitimate as they are today. Like people had the same names as we did today. Like you go back 100 years, some of the people, you'd be surprised. The names were the same as today. But when the haunting started happening on the grounds, it was very big massacre that happened. Very what you call a close encounter apparition that happened. That was behind the massive the spiritual killings and apparitions and the head huntings. So again, it talks about the one Indian brother being a witch and everything else like that. I don't know. I even questioned Father Bill Maloney. I asked him what was Ian supposed to be? Was he supposed to be a witch, alien, what? But they said he could appear as anything. He can come back and appear as he was first. Originally appears as what you call a headless apparition, and like a little bit like you Headless Horseman in Sleepy Hollow, but different, guys. Again, you got two of them. You got two of them in Hunter's Cabin. So you got two headless riders, native headless headhunter riders in Hunter's Cabin that used to terrorize the campers and take their heads and everything else like that. The camp was going missing, blah, blah, blah. We won't get too much into that because I might scare the hell out of a lot of people. So that is basically what the outline of Hunter's Cabin is how it's different. Some things, yes, were the same. Like if you look at the historical grounds, the cemetery being in the middle of the woods, there's being the pentagram with the square, which was called the Wicca Square, north, south, east, and west, and the north-south side of being Hunter's Cabin and the haunting, and the cabin dripping with blood as it started to haunt, and the fireplace would magically come on, and that kind of thing, and the voices being heard or whatever. In Sleepy Hollow, if you look at the story of Sleepy Hollow, they only talk about one headless horseman, and he is a British merchant, which is a British soldier. Was a British soldier, war soldier, and lost his head in battle. Well, in Hunter's Cabin, it is totally different. Hunter's Cabin, you had the two Indian brothers. They built this cabin in the woods. They come home. They got into the drinking, and they got scrapping with each other. The one was drunk. He thought he grabbed the broom, but he grabbed the double-headed axe and chopped his brother's head off. So he freaked out and went and buried his brother in the woods somewhere around the cabin. And so he went and tried anywhere to ditch the actual head somewhere else. And I guess he burnt the head or whatever, and they could never find it. So he went to sleep, and the apparition of Ian had come back for Ivan, and the ghost apparition of Ian was haunting the whole entire campgrounds, everything from Hunter's Cabin to where Camp Northern Lights sits today, on those grounds, and that so Ian would actually haunt his brother, but in the process, he would actually torment all the campers that ever stepped foot on Hunter's Cabin ground or property or camped in Camp Northern Lights, where Camp Northern Lights is today. Those were ceremonial native grounds, where pentagram seances went on, everything, powwows, everything you name it, witchcraft went all on there. And so Ian came back. He was the witch dude. He come back for Ivan, cut Ivan's head off, and he became an apparition. And then they both went out, and they started haunting the grounds and everything else like that. And they were very terrible, what you call poltergeist apparitions, very dangerous poltergeist apparitions that would actually take the lives of campers, chopping their heads off, everything else like that. And according to the story, anyways, according to the Hunter's Cabin, based on true events that really happened. Now, today people still witness the hauntings there at Camp Northern Lights on the kids' grounds, like I know I did when I was a kid, but they were not as bad as they were when they first come back. All it is just disturbing noises, and you can hear them in the quietness of the night. You can just hear them say, "Oh, I'll get you too," and that kind of stuff like that. But those are just what you call paranormal aberrational. What a paranormal investigator would say, you would hear threats coming from their First Nation accent, but they have no heads. But Ian is a witch. He can appear as a stranger, or take on a form of a human that may look like he has a head but doesn't, or he can appear as an alien, animal, whatever. So technically, the questionnaire of that actual particular characteristics of that is part. It can actually be the right. It can actually be the right answer, and there's no wrong answer. If he's an alien or what, he can appear. Ian can appear as anything. He can reappear as anything: a snake, anything, serpent on the ground. You hear if you went to Bible college, you studied even that there alone talked about Satan being a serpent. Well, this is the same idea. Like these are demonic demons. Now they're strong, but they were not as bad when they apparently started first haunting the grounds when they first came back during the 1800s, which is the War of 1812. Apparently, when Hunter's Cabin events originally took place. So, according to the legend, that's why I said I had bad night. When I first went to that camp, when I first heard that story in 1999 to a 9-year-old kid, I was told to me from a Catholic priest, and that I wasn't even Catholic. I don't even want to get sent to the camp, but it was a community camp. Interesting story. I loved it. I regret that. Didn't put me to sleep. Kept me awake all night long. I had nightmares for weeks or months after. I've been, as a kid, I've been to kid counselors, I've been to kid psychiatrists, everything. Man, that story there, I shit my pants, big time. I tell you, because it freaked me out. I did have my case of nightmares, but I did get over those. But so basically now, in the last 2 years now, I'm older. I can sit back now. I can watch horror movies. They don't bother me. And now I can come back and I can tell the story a different way, or my side of the camp story of it as a kid, and put it into like a bit of a what you call a bit of a sharing a video of it, or just to do replicating of it. That's why I did not take you to the real grounds, because the real hauntings on the grounds are real, and it'll all be caught on here. Yeah, you guys will love that, but we just don't want to tickle a monkey's tush as much as possible. So that's why I said those things basically is best to be left alone, and that. But again, like even the kids today that go to that camp, they do hear strange noises, but that's all they hear is just in the night, hear the strange noises. But the point is, they do have a safety plan in place in case of any paranormal activity, supernatural activity, or whatever. I would imagine the counselors have got big, what you call one of those, part of the fire safety plan. Most camps do. We even do for the fair. Those are good to have, no matter if it's a paranormal, supernatural, or event of any kind that may occur or whatever. You've got that safety plan in place for a reason, to respond, so that they can take a head count and everything. But again, like I said, the hauntings is not as dangerous as they were when they first came back. They're afraid they could be, but like they said, that they've assured. I know when I was about 9 or 10 at that camp, they had assured me that it wasn't. They had paranormal investigators, and the paranormal investigators didn't have the proper equipment at the time. But about the sounds they got from it, they said that there is something out in the woods. They believe it was the apparitions of Hunter's Cabin coming to life and that kind of thing, and they did mark that. And they did say that that they weren't as strong as they would have been back in 1812 or the 1800s, or be as very massacreable, or be as a physical threat as they would have been in 1812. Again, they said all they're picking up now is just sounds and hauntings, and that's all they're doing right now is haunting. They're saying there could come a time where the apparitions can go back to the way they were then, but they don't right now. They don't see any signs of that right now, which is good. So they got it all under control. They like they said this when I was about 1989. They were saying this. I don't know what they're saying now, because I haven't seen these paranormal investigators since then. From when I was 9 or 10 at this camp, we didn't see or hear from them again. They didn't say nothing more, so they're probably still keeping up on it. But I think it would be the same today as it was in 1989. But they said it's not as bad as it was as it would have been in 1812 during those times, and that kind of stuff with the apparitions. So, like I said, it is. So again, it is. They're saying they've got, but again, they do have, for the camp alone. They have a paranormal safety alert plan. So again, in case of any hauntings or disturbances, again, they can get everybody to the cabin and do a big head count and everything else like that, and make sure all campers are safe and they're there before they can actually clear the woods to send them back to their tents with the counselors. But like I said, when I was back in '89, the hauntings were so bad. Even then, it wasn't as physical as it was on how the year that it took place. But the hauntings, like I said, the priest opens something and ticks something off spiritually. That's why I said. But we got the big noisy end of it. Again, I still was talking to somebody I went to camp with when we were kids, and they said they've been back there as a counselor after that, and they said the sounds have weakened down enormously. But they said they're still there. They said the hauntings are still there, but it's not as bad as what I experienced. They're not as loud now, but there is some odd nights they do get loud or whatever like that, and you still see things. And just about that, also to 89, about what kind of shocked me, because our tent had no, we didn't even know where our counselors went, and all of a sudden this blonde-headed stranger showed up out of nowhere. We didn't know who he was. It was so quiet, everything else like that. And I gave, when I was a kid, it scared me so much. I gave a description to, that was one of the nightmares. I was talking to the priest. I gave a description, and he had no counselor of that description. And then all of a sudden he disappeared. And then we shone the flashlight. It reappeared. There was two native apparitions in native garments, and no heads. So that's what scared the heck out of us the most. So like, I mean, it is what you call one of those close encounters. But at that point in time, the two apparition brothers were able to, like Ian was able to control his brother, was able to actually control his twin brother in the apparitional change in front of us. And that's basically what was the most scariest part ever of that camp. But like I said, as far as those nightmares and it, I'm only sharing basically what I witnessed and what I saw at those years. But like I said, I did get over those as I got older, and like I said, I can sit back, I can watch horror movies, and they don't bother me. Everybody's probably thinking, yeah, he's watching too many horror movies. Back then, you didn't need to watch a horror movie. Like, we were at summer camp. We sitting there. We were technically in one, and not know it. It wasn't a movie, but it was a real life experience, spiritually. Close encounter. I mean, there is enough to make you wet your sleeping bag, big time. But yeah, so. As I got older, no, I never did go through for a counselor after that camp. After experiencing that, no, way. But it was a nice camp. I have to grant that it was nice. They had the sports recreation and everything, but I tell you, it was gave me the idea now, and. To actually sit back and to actually remember that story, to remember that legend that was told me the first time in 1989 and 1990. So now, since I got over everything, now I'm older, I thought I'd bring it back and put it into a nice duplicate it, put it into a nice Halloween haunted house for the last 2 years on live, out of dummies and that kind of stuff too. Like I said, I could have got a crew together. We could have rented the actual historical real cabin for the Halloween month, but I didn't want a chance to disturb anything spiritually, and catch a real life haunting on here, or disturbance of any kind. So with the Camp Northern Lights grounds, and it would have to be after the kids' camping season if we went down and rented the cabin for the Halloween week or whatever for Halloween, and you'd actually catch it all on live stream and that kind of stuff too. It'd be very, 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 very what you call one of those real live ghost spook fests, or bounty hunts, if you want to call it that. Yeah, they were fun. But that's definitely where my spiritual tools would actually come out, like flashlights. I would actually have to get a good crew of spiritualists in there, and to communicate with it, and that kind of stuff, which would be kind of the hard thing. Now, when I brought even the duplicate into Wyerton, or to the haunted house into it. I'm just drinking my Coca-Cola. When I brought the replicant here to bring it into a haunted house, I started off doing the voice in the haunted fireplace, and that kind of thing, and all at the same time. During it, last summer during I was putting together last June, not this June, this just passed, but the one back in 2017. That's when I got the call. My mother had passed away, and as we got into the October month, uh, it was as we were going deep into the duplicate, into the what you call the actual haunted house part of it. I swore way when I was actually mimicking the voices of mimicking the voices of the characters of Haunted Hunter's Cabin. Um, a real apparition voice had spoke up on it, got caught on the live stream, and my wife wasn't even home. She was at her mom's for the night, and there was actually a bit of that another close encounter. Um, and then there was a time where too my stream, my live stream broadcast actually got hacked into by something that was actually not what non-human voices were of the paranormal and supernatural during one of these live streams that had come through, and it was very weird, and it was not human at all. Um, it's great because now I got the walkie-talkies to pick up if we get any of those little surprises again this year, this Halloween. Um, so again, like I said, that is we're ready for any type of um, response of any kind. So this is why I started into doing the ghost scans, to detect what it is. Possibility it could be from my past, it could be whatever, it could be my mother haunting me, or it could be, far as I know, it could actually be the actual apparitions are actually following me and actually haunting me from this kid's camp. Uh, so again, something's reached out to them somehow. So again, and no ghosts don't have. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know any. I don't know of any paranormal investigation show that they've ever discovered of any of these identities or apparitions having internet access of any kind. I don't know about space aliens, life on other planets. If they're into if they've got technology that we don't have, or if they got access to internet, whatever from somewhere, or they're getting internet waves. According to NASA, they believe they do. Um, so it is anything's possible today. Again, that's what I said. So, it's one of those kind of things that actually would shock you on that one, big time. But and that so and also too. Well, again, I'm not again like I said. I'm just sharing a little bit of my childhood, anyways. When we were at Camp Northern Lights, which is north of Halliburton, Bobcaygeon, where apparently these historical ancient ceremonial grounds were, or whatever, where all this voodoo crap took place 100 years ago. Now it is a kids' camp since the 50s, or the 60s. So again, like I said, it was a nice camp that I went to as a kid, but it was just one of those weird things that go on there, and that's so again, like I said, that was one of the legends that were never ever brought out into a book or brought out to, and I see why now it wasn't. It would have been nice if it was, if Hollywood had got their hands on it, or it would fit. Hunter's Cabin actually would fit the. It wouldn't be they wouldn't call it Sleepy Hollow, but it would actually fit the actual Sleepy Hollow collection. Because it's more of those haunted massacre legends. That's way worse than Sleepy Hollow ever was. That had took place over history, but because Hunter's Cabin also was like Sleepy Hollow, was based on more true events, but Hunter's Cabin was more realistic and more massacre and more violent than anything. according to history, they probably wouldn't have not made the box office. They'd actually have to get the actors to react out everything, that kind of thing for the Hunter's Cabin scenes alone. They'd actually to image Ian and Ivan, the two headless headhunter, twin headless native headhunters. So again, it would have to do a lot of twisting around, so to make the box office. But again, in the horror movie sector, it would make it'll make the big time bucks. That's what I say. Even like it's one of those things, Stephen King would love to get his hands on, if he ever had a chance. Like it was one of those things. It'd blow your socks right off around the campfire. I'll tell you. One of those legends too that would give you a massive heart attack. That's how spooky it is. It is. Again, we had campers that didn't sleep for weeks or months. But like I said, but far as the grounds itself goes, the hauntings, like I said, are not as they were strong enough. Yes, then when I was a child camper in my childhood there, but they were not as bad as they would have been back in the 1812 when the apparitions first come back to haunt, according to the legend. So again, it talks about a lot, and the legend itself talks a lot about the cause of it. The disturbing of it, what brought them, what originally, why, how they came back, and everything else like that. Basically because on ceremonial, because back those Civil War days, there was a lot of those in the 1800s. Witchcraft was a big time then. Even if you look at the Salem witch trials, or back 100 years ago or 1800 years ago, across the United States, even up through Canada here and that kind of thing. Today it's not as bad, and again, people of Gothic religions are not persecuted like they would have been back those 100 years ago. But again, it was one of those. It was one of those big time, one of those legends that kind of was based on true events that really happened, and supposedly, anyways, so they all say, so did the priest that told it, and basically it is no, this Chamber of Commerce will not have records of it, but the one in Bob Cajun apparently must have, for him to tell a story like that or put it into a legend like that. He would have had to get information. He would have had to dig up a lot of information before he could tell a big time legend like that, historical legend like that is based on a true story. And that kind of thing. But but like I said, it was a really cool one. But that's why I said I was so glad that I got over nightmares under everything. Like I said, when they talk about in the story about the two apparitions being called Ian and Ivan, they're not talking about anybody by that name today. They're talking about the characteristics, the characters, because back those days, those names were real back then as well. There was it comes to find out, I do like when I did what was it, a Curiosity. I did one of those went to one of those historical sites just to be nosy to see how they work, and I found out that there was a guy back that lived 1800 years ago that had the same name as I did. Back in the pioneer days, there was a guy that was once lived by the name of Timothy Scott Plain. Not me, but there was apparently there was, according, if you look at the ancestry dates or back to the pioneer days, there was back those days there was a pioneer with that name, with the same name I have today. that I was born, that I was birth given to me as a kid. My parents gave me as a kid. That's why I said so. It's enough to spook you. Um, you know, but it is quite shocking because names they were relevant then as they are today, meaning they never change. Um, that's or this generation because it's always a generational thing. A lot of people don't see that generational cycle, um, and that kind of stuff. And that's what I thought was quite interesting. Um, I got shocked reading about that and reading up on that. I thought that was quite interesting. To me, that was like a little bit of a Charles Dickens thing, anyway. Um, and that kind of stuff. So again, it was. I guess the guy was back then. The guy was like one of those uh, blacksmith welders and that kind of stuff back those days. We didn't have the technology we have today and that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, so again, they actually you could actually see the actual pioneer historical write up about the guy, and the guy with the big what you call the big Scotch sideburns and everything. Back the way they used to be looked back then. Um, and I'm like, gee, that must have been me 100 years ago. uh, um, so again, there's always you always have a namesake somewhere down the genetic lines, or back according to history, or back in the time, or whatever you want to put it, back in those early days. So that's what I said. Back those days, names were all the same as they are today, and the name cycle itself never changes. Um, it's always a generational thing for some reason from that generation to this generation. Um, so far, it hasn't shown to me, or I have not seen any proof that this dude was related to me. I probably is because my last name is not common. Uh, so possibility he could have been an ancestor of some kind, whatever. He could have been the first generation. He could have been the very, very, very first generation of the planes because it was all spelled the same way. But again, we're talking about old pioneer days, kind of 1800 years ago. So, like I said, like it's all the historical stuff, enough to scare you and spook you. And so that's why I said like again, man, back to my summer camp stuff from when I was a kid. That's why I said I wanted to bring it now, since now I went through that experience. I went through that close encounter as a kid at summer camp. I grew out of it. I grew the nightmare end of it. Overcame the nightmare end of it. I basically last Halloween I put it together. Now I'm living in Wyerton. I grew up in Peterborough. I was born in Napanee. I decided to take that old camp legend and put my side of the story to it. I've added a few things to it now since I've gotten over it. I added in, if you notice, there was the chess game. That was my add-in. The extra two had the two extra, the third and the fourth and the fifth headless headhunters. I've added in myself. They were not. There was only just the two. Um, so again, like I said, there is, um, again, Pringles Pete. Now that was a nickname. Again, that was a nickname of a friend of mine that was stingy with his Pringles. I told you that story too. That was funny. We kept so again he so actually I mimic so again in this now putting it together on live stream that I don't see much of him anymore, but uh, his real name was Peter, and yeah, his family was real southern southern Baptist people, and and that's so again to liven up the dummies for my duplicacy. I remember I did the actual voice to Pringles Pete with the vacuum cleaner, which I thought was kind of in a different way, which quite interesting. Um, Thought it'd be really cool, and that kind of stuff. And like I said, I don't get paid for this. This is volunteer, guys. Jokers on Duty is all volunteer. I volunteer to do all this. I had this going since 2010. Not on live because I didn't know we had live stream. Again, we're doing it all differently now. And so again, this last year for Hunter's Cabin is October, and the next year is right Haunted House. Um, so again, it's kind of so it has a lot of my add-ins. Again, the haunted fireplace was electrical, but the little fireplace burnt out, so now it's digital. Um, so again, there was a couple of add-ins. Just to break it off, so it wouldn't scare anybody. Yes, last year we did use a bit of music content to break it, so it would break it down, so it wouldn't be as frightening. Because authentically in the dark, when there's no music, we're gonna have fun this year. It's totally gonna kind of make you make you totally plop your pants. Put it in a joking way. Because in the dark, everything, all these dummies, they're there, and they just there. They'll spook you, so they'll give you goosebumps, big time. So again, so that's why last year we kind of regretted using the music, but we had to do something to kind of break down the frightening of it, because haunted houses can get very very frightening. Tell me about it. You have to have something kind of to break the silence, so it doesn't thoroughly scare you and give you it actually literally give you a heart attack right on the spot. So, like I said, that is, So again, we're doing this year with no music. So again, like I said, if we use sound effects, it'll have to be pre-recorded to YouTube. But as far as the right here on Facebook, it is all going to be silent, no music, because we can't use music. So again, we are going to use a flashlight this time around. Usually with Hunter's Cabin, it says no flashlights, but because it takes the fun out of it, haunted house type thing. So again, like I said, this is we're trying to do it all to finish up. We're doing it all different. Again, like I said, there is. It is fun for Halloween. Also, too, it gives something. Like I said, it gives some scenes some props may be a little frightening to little ones. So make sure that if you guys got little ones and you're watching, make sure you accompany them and that kind of thing, so it doesn't scare them. Basically, these live streams are for the adults because the adults don't get to get out and enjoy Halloween. Because they got little kids, they got to take them around trick or treating, or they're working all day and they want to relax or whatever. So again, and also too, with Byerton here, there's no parties. Like Optimist hasn't been doing parties anymore. They stopped doing the Halloween parties. I don't know why, but they did. They had the reasons why they didn't. So again, I came on live and decided to bring my Hunter's Cabin on live, so that way the adults can have something to enjoy while they're watching the live streams, and while they're surfing through watching their Maffers live and running through the haunted mansion in Loretto, Ontario, or whatever. So kind of add in also to everybody live streaming their haunted houses and that kind of stuff. So again, it gives them something to watch and that kind of stuff to follow and watch. If by any chance, like I said, if you want to follow these shows, you can. You do not have to. If this gets too frightening for some people, you don't have to follow these streams. That kind of stuff. So again, that they're on pre-recording. if there's a lot of heavy religious beliefs and this is not something you want to follow, please do not ruin these shows. Do not complain about it. You do not have to come in and follow these shows. You don't have to watch them. Save the problem. Again, no negativity, no hating. That kind of respect these shows because there is other people that love watching these shows. Don't ruin it for them because there's a lot of horror movie fans out there. They love seeing this kind of thing on Facebook and that kind of thing a lot. They love seeing these haunted houses and that kind of thing. They think they're really cool. I think this is going to be the quietest one. I think all the others are going to be having like, music or whatever. I'm not going to chance the music, so I'm not going to do music. I will not do music on live videos, on live Facebook. So again, we're taking you back to the way on how quiet, on how the hauntings would have started into the traditional way of Hunter's Cabin. The way it would have been like without the technology back then. Well, you can tell I've got technology. I got a fridge here full of pop, sometimes full of whatever. But focus past that. Like I said, with the live Facebook stream of this haunted house, it is going to take you into the darkness. One night, also to under the lighting and that kind of thing. But then it'll go into the darkness of the haunted house, on how quiet the haunted house is before it starts haunting, and then the sounds quietly you can hear. And that means yes, quietly. I'm talking about the front room. So the cabin rooms are going to be done up. That I call the cabin rooms, and they're going to be nicely done up, cleaned up. They'll be decorated. I don't know if she's getting gravestones for out there. Do I have to go out of my way and make my own? So that's going to be dolled up. So that'll be a walkthrough. And I do hope this works this year. I do hope it works because this is last year for Hunters Cabin 13. So again, next year it'll be just a regular haunted house. It won't be as what you call as detailed as I have it for I have had for the last 2 years. Like I said, I do this all voluntarily just to kind of to make it lively and enjoyable. Hope we don't close encounter any real apparitions. There's a chance we could. Again, while this haunted house is going on, if you guys do see any movement or whatever, be legitimate about it. Don't make a joke out of it. Make sure you actually do see any movement. Atreyu, stop, buddy. So that way we can go back and view. Now there was some of these live stream videos where we did pick up some live movement. I can't remember which ones they were. It was really, really cool. But I forget which ones they were. There was a couple of them anyways with the lamp flickered and whatever. So again, this was just wanted to do one of those updates with you and that kind of stuff too. Because again, it's been a while since I've been on. Well, the fair we were live, and now we're getting back into the swing of things. So we're getting into a Halloween shows finally, getting them started early, getting all set up. This is basically the setup point. Chess went quite good. Rounds of chess and that kind of thing. So now we're getting into our capture the flag game. We did that. We are now going to just bring back the haunted fireplace and that kind of stuff. So basically, we're going to operate from out of my what you call studio center here and office space. So we are going to, so again, that is going to, and then there's going to be more decorations going up. There's going to be caution tape going up too. So to make it look like a real haunted house. So it's coming together quite good. I've got the vacuum cleaners. I've got the camera stand ready to be all dolled up. Maybe I'll take Sunday to do that Sunday out of all days to do that. Um, so again, bit by bit, work on that. So you pinpoint each section. Find little cubby holes and spots. Uh, the ironing board is gonna go somewhere. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put that yet. That's going to be the hunter's cabin. One of the hunter's cabin bunks. So I think it'll be in one of the if anything this year, it'll be one of the cabin rooms. So it will be a walkthrough on my mobile. And so again, we'll start off with the live Facebook, and then we're gonna pre-record YouTube. Also, too, they will be also put on Dashboard Twitch TV, so look for them. So again, so that way you guys can view them. Again, Twitch is like Facebook. It's nothing different about it. So again, it is all coming together. And since we don't get, I live in an apartment building, so since we don't get trick-or-treaters here, they can't come to door in the building. Also, too, we don't have the house anymore. So we don't. So again, it is not an outside haunted house. I'm glad it's not an outside haunted house because all this stuff will be blowing away down the street, and I'll be chasing it, and it'd be funny. So technically, everything is all under wind controlled. And also, this time my stuff is not getting water damaged. So last year when we were taking things apart, the dummies apart, I actually got to see what was underneath them. After Halloween, if you guys want to see that stream again, we will do another one. So again, like I said, there is so you get to see what's underneath the dummies. Clothing and that kind of stuff. Some of the dummies are going to be stuff in newspaper, by the way, guys. I do have a bag of newspaper that I've been saving. That will be stuff in this Ghostbuster suit, and that kind of be doling that all up. I didn't think I was going to do the dummies this year, but I figured everybody loves the dummies, so I had to do the dummies again this year because everybody loves those things. Everybody loves my homemade dummies. They always do. They get a kick out of them. Even when we had the house, we had the yard display and that kind of thing. Everybody loved the dummies. It was a big attraction. So again, I wanted to keep the dummies going as much as possible. So that way, everything's coming together early. So that way, I don't have a lot to do the last minute. So it's easier on me the last minute to just kind of get everything up and rock and rolling. And my karaoke machine will be plugged in, and I will be on my microphone also too during the haunted house when we're on live. So again, it's a little bit like the birthday game at the fair. Again, but different. This is actually going to be a haunted house game. Again, the poker game last year. We will do a mock magic show once I get around buying a magic kit for that. Again, might we get the tricks right or wrong or whatever. It's still funny. So again, during the haunted house, the microphone will be on, the plugged in will be on, the karaoke machine will be on. Again, so a heads up, it is a haunted house, so there will be strobe lighting. Just let you know, guys, for some shows, I'm pretty letting you know ahead of time, I am going to be using strobe lighting. Because when it comes close to Halloween, some of these shows now there will be strobe lighting being used on the live stream. So anybody with health issues that can't handle strobe lighting, you guys are excused from these shows. You don't have to follow them or watch them. You can catch me on New Year's during after Halloween when the Halloween shows are over. When we start into our other regular social talk shows and that kind of thing after Halloween, starting November 1st. So again, once the Halloween shows are done with, off and on, if you guys want to follow the actual social shows during the day, they won't contain strobe lighting. Anything that contains strobe lighting will probably be, if anything, will be Devil's Night and Halloween Night. Or maybe the odd nights before then, between now and next. till October, till the end of October. So until November the 1st. So the day shows, you don't have to worry about strobe lighting. It's night shows, guys. When we get to start going into the night shows, that's where we may do a little bit of strobe lighting and that kind of stuff to clean up the shows and that kind of stuff. So any of the strobe lighting shows, you guys, if you guys have issues with seizures or whatever, you please do not follow the shows because I don't need anybody taking seizures. As much as they go on, also too, they will go on YouTube and a dashboard Twitch TV. But again, if you guys don't want to watch those shows, you don't have to. But again, just follow the ones like I'm on now. That is before we get into that doesn't contain the heavy lighting and that kind of stuff. Because I do a lot of I do my own strobe lighting. I do my own electrical strobe lighting and that kind of stuff too. So to kind of make it more interesting and more viewable for people to watch, and livelier. So make it more interesting, make it more fun. There is the background cupboard is actually probably going to get is probably going to get something. I'm probably going to over time. I'm going to buy something from the dollar store or whatever, and probably put a skeleton up there. Considering a tree, who doesn't rip it down. He likes to rip my stuff down, and again, there's some props I do have. That is horror movie related. So again, like I said, they will be out. When they are out, guys, I don't know what they're again for the safety of my cat. Spiritually, he'll have to be in another room when we do that. So when we have those sessions, if my friends don't make it out this year, then the one prop I may end up canceling out of these shows again this year, which I don't like to, because it's the main part of Halloween. It's a cool part of Halloween. So again, like I said, it is. We are going to, but if we don't have enough people to use it, then we will. It'll be left out. Out this year, so we won't be able to do that actual big ghost communication for you. And that was night Halloween night, because that is a fun part of the Halloween shows, guys. This one prop that I have, it is the best. It is the fun part of Halloween. It is the fun part of Halloween night alone, and especially it glows in the dark. So again, like I said, it is the most spookiest part of Halloween, and that kind of stuff too. So to actually to bring the shows more lively to you, and that kind of so that way it is more enjoyable to watch and that kind of thing. So it fits right into the haunted house. So again, I've got 2 items I'm looking at buying. I do have to pre-order before Halloween. I'm gonna see at the end of the month if my wife can get on the ball to get that for me. That'd be great because I even told her we were looking at it. That's it at a very cool price, plus shipping and handling. The Halloween costume props. So I'm gonna definitely the end of this month I'm gonna get her on the ball to get those for me, especially the makeup at least to do my clown shows. To get them here for you, so we can get into those shows of the haunted house. Into Hunter's Cabin. So so that way that'd be really cool thing to see on here, and so to have them in here in time for Halloween, she's got to get. We'll kind of get on the ball for that and get it ordered, so that will be here for Halloween, not Christmas. So again, And a lot of hard work today getting all the lights. What I did with the lights, I actually put them up around my wall, I bet, and then I strung them around the movie shelf, and that kind of stuff. One stream is still taking time to come through. For some reason, it's not. There must be a short or something, and then it's not lighting up. But the one string is lighting up. Maybe the other one may fool me and might actually light up. It might give it some time, or what? It might have to give it some time, or whatever. And also, too, tomorrow's Sunday, and good a day of relaxing papers. I only have to finish off my paper again. I have resigned my paper route because, like I said, I'm too busy doing other stuff. I'm not gonna have the time for it. I'm so busy with Rotary and that, with volunteering and that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna have time for the papers. And then plus my job at the dentist office, like a couple days a week. I'm so busy with. I don't have time for newspapers. So again, I gave my resignation for that. So again, I only have a month to clear out, which is good. I thought it was going to be 2 weeks, but it's actually going to be. I have to continue to do it for a month until they can find another carrier to take over, and take over both routes, and that. So that'd be great, and so now, since also too, I'm also uh, a paid up member with Friends of Rotary, and I'm volunteering for Rotary more so than anything because we got more events going and that kind of thing. I'm devoting more and more of my time to Rotary than anything, and so optimist. I'm not going to again. I'm going to condense down to one club. So that way, the two clubs sometimes will crisscross because they may have something going at the same time as the other one, and I can't be in both places at once. And so I kind of have to put myself down to one club. So basically, I go where I'm basically needed the most, which would be Rotary. So again, I'm so busy with Rotary and that kind of thing, helping out with them and that kind of stuff. So again, so there's a few changes on that one. And that. So again, hope we have another successful year of Hunter's Cabin. Again, so again, yeah, I am starting early for Hunter's Cabin, getting all the props up because they're the hardest to do. They usually take a lot of time and hard work to do for these live streams. They're the hardest to put together. Really, it is not a last minute type thing to throw together. It is like it is like years of planning. Like I said, like even last year's Hunter's Cabin, we started over the summer, took a break a bit like we did now, and then picked up again. But again, everything, the planning was a year advanced. Same with this style, this more heavy detail of a haunted house being very detailed as is actually takes a lot of planning and putting together. It is not something you can really throw together at the last minute. So again, like I said, it takes a lot of my time and that kind of stuff too. So I have, of course, to find the time because on how busy on top of how busy I am, whatever little time I get, I use that little time to put everything together. So that way it is ready for October 31st. So it is all in place. So that way when it comes October 31st, all I have to do is say, okay, off goes the lights, boom, into the haunted house we go. And that, so next year's probably going to be just regular haunted house. But again, it is a long process to put together. Hunter's Cabin is one of the hardest ones to put together. My Hunter's Cabin alone itself to reduplicate is one of the hardest because it goes by a by vision and memory, childhood memory. So to put together, and it is, like I said, it is one of the hardest ones to ever put together, and I manage every year, so. And so anyhow, I thank everybody for tuning in, and I hope this year's Hunter's Cabin is a big success. And we're live back at Hunter's Cabin. I never seem to leave this stupid cabin. It's a joke, by the way. That's okay. Um, and that, so of course, my duplicacy of my Ghost of the Gypsy Rover is going to be set up as well. That's going to be one of the coolest. Everybody loves that one. A Ghost of Pringles Pete is going to be set up as well. Ain't that right, Pringles Pete? Yeah, Gypsy Rover. See, he pops in when he wants to and that kind of thing. I heard you. I heard he was at the fair. Yeah, I love the fair. Oh, okay. He loved the fair. So, yeah, you heard me helping you out at the birthday game, dude. Yeah, I know you did. You're annoying. You think you shocked everybody. Yeah, I know. And I told you to stay home. I know, but I was having so much fun. At least I wasn't staying home being dumb. I ain't gonna go there with a 3-foot pole. I'm not gonna go there with a 3-foot pole. Because he's gonna accuse me of calling him a damn dumb. Yeah, he is right. But oh, Pringles Pete. Yeah. Are you gonna go give a tribute to some company? Yeah, I will. Okay. Don't slam the door. He always slams that door. No, just kidding. You probably know I do the voice of Pringles Pete. Because it kind of gives myself away. Ooh, I think I give myself away too at the fair too, big time with that voice. I think I shocked everybody with that voice. Everybody got a kick. Somewhat they got shocked. Somewhat they got a kick out of it. But I think I startled too many people with that voice. That is why I don't like him showing up to anything. He's a party crasher, no matter what. I'm just so thankful he didn't crash Canada today. That would have been most funniest and shocking if Pringles Pete had actually crashed Canada Day. But I always get a kick out of that character. That's what he is. He's a character, and he's actually every year when we do the haunted house here. Hunter's Cabin haunted house. He's actually a vacuum cleaner, and that kind of thing. So he's dulled. He's all dressed up as a Hoover vacuum cleaner. But I don't say too much to him because he gets offended. Big time offense. He gets offended. Pringles Pete for you. I mean, I gotta go now. I gotta go looking for his Pringles can because he's gonna be looking for that. I have no idea what I do with them now. I maybe throw them out now. Don't tell him that. He get upset. I'm gonna have to go get my wife to run out and buy some Pringles just so I can set him up. Set his ghost up in Hunter's Cabin here because he's gonna get totally upset if his ghost is set up ready for the haunt in Hunter's Cabin and he's not holding his Pringles can. He's gonna get so offended. That's Pringles Pete for you. He could get so ugly. But yeah, so at least I'm gonna have to get his. I will buy him. I will go and I will go chance myself, risk myself to go across the Wicker Square and go buy him a 10 stupid Pringles. So it's attached to his ghost that way. When he's displayed in the Hunter's Cabin, he's got his Pringles. I gotta find his glasses too. I have no clue where they went to. his mustache, his nose and mustache glasses are around here somewhere too. Um, Again, I'll go look. I probably got him in one of the bags in the other cabin room or whatever. And so anyhow, I hope everybody has a great day. And thank you for tuning in. And this was your Jokers on Duty. Have a great day, guys. Live from Hunter's Cabin. Catch you later.